Number 7. Men are far more likely to be colorblind. 1 in 12 men is colorblind compared to just 1 in 200 women, so men are roughly 17 times more likely to be colorblind than women, and it all comes down to chromosomes. The National Eye Institute points out that the genes responsible for colorblindness are located exclusively on the X chromosome. The instructions for the color detectors in your eyes are on the X chromosome. Women have 2 X's. It's a built-in backup system. If one has a glitch, the other usually covers it. Men, we get 1 X from mom and a Y from dad. If that single X carries the colorblindness gene, there's no backup. Game over. The result is staggering. 1 in 12 men is colorblind. For women, it's only 1 in 200. That means men are about 17 times more likely to see a muted world. Globally, 95% of colorblind people are male. Here's the family twist. A colorblind father can't pass it to his sons. He gives them a Y chromosome, but he will always pass his affected X to his daughters, making them carriers. For a woman to actually be colorblind, she needs the gene from both parents, which is why it's so rare. So next time there's a debate over the color of a shirt, for millions of guys, it's not a debate. It's just genetics. Number 6. The real lungs of the planet aren't on land. Take a deep breath. Now, thank the ocean. While the Amazon rainforest is crucial, it is not our primary oxygen source. Scientists estimate that between 50 and 70% of the oxygen in our atmosphere comes from the sea. The real heroes are invisible, microscopic marine photosynthesizers, phytoplankton, algae, and cyanobacteria. They drift in the sunlit layer of the ocean, and for over 3.5 billion years, they've been converting sunlight and CO2 into oxygen. One genus, called Prochlorococcus, is so ridiculously prolific, it's responsible for 1 out of every 5 breaths you take. Let that sink in. A single-celled organism you cannot see, which outnumbers stars in our galaxy, fuels 1/5 of your air supply. The irony is profound. We rightly panic about deforestation, but often ignore ocean health. Warming waters, acidification, and pollution devastate these microscopic forests. So, protecting the ocean isn't just about saving whales, it's fundamentally about protecting the very air we breathe. Number 5. That fluffy cloud is heavier than a jumbo jet. Look up at a fair-weather cumulus cloud. It looks light as air, right? Physics says otherwise. The average fluffy white cloud contains about 1.1 million pounds of water. That's heavier than a fully loaded Boeing 747. So why doesn't it fall? The water is dispersed as billions of microscopic droplets, each smaller than the width of a human hair. Air resistance keeps them suspended, like dust in a sunbeam. The cloud also floats for the same reason a hot air balloon does. The moist air inside is less dense than the dry air surrounding it. It's only when these droplets collide and merge, growing heavy enough to overcome that resistance, that they fall as rain. So, you're literally looking at a 1,000,000-pound water balloon, perfectly balanced in the sky. Number 4. The real metropolis is under your feet. You think soil is just dirt? It is the most biodiverse habitat on Earth. A single teaspoon of healthy soil contains more living organisms than there are humans on the entire planet. We're talking billions of bacteria, miles of fungal filaments, protozoa, nematodes, and microarthropods. It's a hidden, thriving civilization where the currency is nutrients and chemical signals. Bacteria are the recyclers, breaking down dead matter. Fungi are the ancient internet, the Wood Wide Web, forming vast networks that connect plant roots, allowing trees to share resources and even send distress signals to each other. This underground economy is the reason forests and farms can exist. Without it, dead leaves would pile up forever, plants would starve, and global cycles would break down. Every step you take is on top of a world more ancient and interconnected than any human city. Number 3. Sometimes hot water can freeze faster. Your intuition is correct 99% of the time. Cold water freezes faster, but under very specific conditions, the opposite can be true. This weird phenomenon is called the Mpemba effect. It's named after Erasto Mpemba, a Tanzanian student who noticed his hot ice cream mixture froze faster in his school's freezer than a cold one did. Why does this happen? Scientists still debate, but leading theories suggest hot water water may evaporate faster, reducing the total volume that needs to freeze. It might also have less dissolved gas, which can slow ice formation. Or cold water can develop a frosty surface layer that acts as an insulator. It's not magic, it's a complex dance of thermodynamics, and it's a perfect reminder that common sense is a good guide, but science always has a plot twist ready. Number 2. Diamond rain is a weather report on other planets. Forget water cycles. On ice giants like Neptune and Uranus, the forecast calls for diamond rain. These planets have atmospheres rich in methane. Thousands of miles down, the pressure and heat become so unimaginably intense that they can rip methane molecules apart. The carbon atoms get squeezed so powerfully, they crystallize into solid diamonds. These diamond hailstones then fall through the layers toward the planetary core. Scientists have recreated this in labs, using powerful lasers to shock carbon-rich material and watching nanodiamonds form. On Saturn and Jupiter, similar processes might create literal mountain-sized diamond bergs. In our universe, a luxury gem is just another form of extreme weather. Number 1. You have the genetic blueprint for Venom. Venom isn't some special superpower reserved for snakes and spiders. It's a repurposed biological toolkit, and all mammals, including you, carry the evolutionary blueprint for it. Research shows that venomous animals like cobras and even some shrews produce their toxins using modified salivary glands. The genes that code for these toxic proteins are incredibly similar to the genes we have that regulate our own saliva. In humans, these genes help create the digestive enzymes in our spit, but with the right evolutionary pressure or a series of mutations, that same spit could, in theory, become toxic. Think about that. Evolution has independently invented venom over 100 times across different species. It's a highly repeatable trick. This doesn't mean we're going to evolve venomous bites anytime soon, but it does mean the foundational machinery is buried deep in our DNA. We share an ancient common ancestor with creatures that turned spit into a weapon. So the difference between human saliva and snake venom isn't a radical leap. It's just a few genetic switches, flipped by millions of years of different needs. If you have not subscribed, you're not going to see us again. But if you already have, then congratulations, you're growing every day. The world is far stranger, more connected, and more incredible than it seems. Reality is often the best science fiction.